Jesus and Buddha never met, lived 600 years apart, and taught on opposite sides of Asia. So, why do their core teachings sound almost identical in some places? I grew up Christian, then got interested in Buddhism, and the number of times I've had to stop and go, wait, didn't Jesus say basically the same thing? Is kind of shocking. And I'm not talking about vague stuff like be nice to people. I'm talking about specific teachings that are so similar it's almost weird. A lot of people assume Christianity and Buddhism are completely opposite. One has God, one doesn't. One promises heaven, one talks about nirvana. And yeah, those differences are real. But when you actually look at what Jesus and Buddha taught about how to live, how to treat people, and what gets in the way of peace, they were saying remarkably similar things. I'm going to show you 5 specific teachings where Jesus and Buddha lined up in ways that most people don't realize. And I'm not trying to merge the religions or say they're secretly the same. They're not. But the overlap is real, and it might change how you see both of them. Here's the thing. Christians and Buddhists usually don't talk to each other much. When they do, the conversation tends to focus on the differences. Does God exist? What happens after death? Is faith or practice more important? Those are the headline debates. But focusing only on differences misses something important. Jesus and Buddha were both teachers trying to solve the same basic human problems: suffering, greed, hatred, fear, ego. They lived in different cultures and used different language, but they were diagnosing the same issues and offering surprisingly similar solutions in some areas. The problem is that most Christians have never seriously studied Buddhism, and most Buddhists have never seriously studied Christianity. So both groups operate on stereotypes. Christians think Buddhism is about worshiping statues and navel-gazing. Buddhists think Christianity is about blind obedience and hellfire. Neither one is accurate. And when you're stuck in stereotypes, you miss the real connections. You miss the fact that the Sermon on the Mount and the Dhammapada sometimes sound like they're pulling from the same playbook. You miss that Jesus' teachings on prayer and Buddha's teachings on meditation have major overlaps. You miss that both of them were radically countercultural in their time and said things that made religious authorities furious. So let's drop the stereotypes and look at what they actually taught. Similarity 1. First similarity. Both taught that suffering comes from within, not from outside circumstances. Jesus said it clearly in the Gospel of Matthew. It's not what goes into your mouth that makes you unclean, it's what comes out of your mouth. He said evil thoughts, murder, adultery, greed, wickedness. All of that comes from within, from the heart. Buddha said basically the same thing. The Dhammapada starts with this line: all that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. Suffering doesn't come from external things happening to you. It comes from how your mind relates to those things. This was a radical idea in both of their contexts. The religious systems they grew up in were all about external rules. Do this ritual, don't eat that food, avoid those people. Both Jesus and Buddha said no, you're missing the point. Your problem isn't outside, it's inside. It's your mind, your heart, your intentions. Jesus told the Pharisees they were obsessed with washing cups and following dietary laws while their hearts were full of greed and self-importance. Buddha left Hinduism partly because he thought all the rituals and sacrifices weren't addressing the real issue, which was the mind's tendency to crave and cling. Both of them shifted the focus from external compliance to internal transformation. And both of them got in serious trouble for it because that message threatened the religious authorities who built their power on external rules. Similarity 2. Second similarity. Both taught that attachment to wealth and possessions creates suffering. Jesus is famous for this. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. He told people to store up treasure in heaven, not on earth. He said you can't serve both God and money. The rich young ruler came to him asking what to do, and Jesus told him to sell everything and give it to the poor. The guy walked away sad. Buddha taught the same thing from a different angle. He said craving is the root of suffering, and one of the main things people crave is wealth and possessions. One of his key teachings was non-attachment. Not that you can't own things, but that you can't be owned by them. The problem isn't having stuff. The problem is needing stuff, organizing your whole life around getting more stuff, defining yourself by your stuff. Both of them saw that wealth creates a trap. The more you have, the more you worry about losing it. The more you get, the more you want. You think money will make you happy, but it just creates a new set of problems. And it distracts you from what actually matters. Neither of them said poverty is the goal. Buddha specifically rejected extreme poverty as unhelpful. Jesus had followers who owned homes and supported his ministry financially. But both of them warned that attachment to wealth is dangerous. It clouds your judgment. It makes you selfish. It cuts you off from other people and from deeper truths. And both of them practiced what they preached. Buddha walked away from a palace and lived with almost nothing. Jesus didn't have a house or a savings account. Both of them relied on generosity and taught their followers to do the same. Similarity 3. Third similarity. Both taught radical compassion, especially toward enemies and outcasts. Jesus said, "Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, turn the other cheek. Forgive people not 7 times, but 77 times." He ate with tax collectors and sinners, touched lepers, talked to Samaritans. He hung out with exactly the people religious society said to avoid. Buddha taught metta, which is loving kindness, and he said to extend it to everyone without exception. All beings. Not just people you like, but people you hate. Not just humans, but animals. He said hatred never ends through hatred, only through love. He taught that even if bandits are sawing off your limbs, you should have compassion for them. Both of them were saying something that sounds insane to most people. Don't just tolerate your enemies. Actually love them. Don't just be neutral toward people who hurt you. Have compassion for them. This wasn't normal in either of their cultures. The Old Testament said an eye for an eye. Hindu texts talked about righteous warfare. The default human response to enemies is revenge, or at least avoidance. Jesus and Buddha both said no. That response just creates more suffering. The cycle only stops when someone chooses compassion instead. And both of them backed this up by including outcasts in their communities. Buddha ordained people from the lowest castes, which was scandalous. Jesus welcomed prostitutes and criminals into his inner circle. Both of them said the religious elites had it backwards. The people you think are unworthy are exactly the ones who need compassion most. Similarity 4. Fourth similarity. Both warned against hypocrisy and emphasized humility. Jesus went after religious hypocrisy constantly. He called the Pharisees whitewashed tombs, clean on the outside but full of death inside. He said they pray loudly in public to be seen by others, but their hearts are far from God. He told people to judge themselves before judging others. Why do you see the speck in your neighbor's eye but not the log in your own eye? Buddha was just as harsh on this. He said there are people who dress in robes and look holy, but inside they're full of greed and delusion. He warned against spiritual pride. He told a story about a monk who was so proud of his meditation skills that he completely missed the point of meditation, which was to let go of ego. Both of them saw that religion creates a specific kind of danger. It makes people think they're better than others. It turns spirituality into a performance. You start doing the right things for the wrong reasons, to look good or feel superior, and you lose the whole point. And both of them modeled humility in radical ways. Jesus washed his disciples' feet, which was a slave's job. He said the first will be last, and the last will be first. Buddha refused to claim any special divine status. He said he was just a teacher who figured some things out. He told people not to believe him just because of who he was, but to test his teachings for themselves. The emphasis on humility is huge in both traditions. Pride, ego, thinking you're special, that's the thing that blocks real spiritual progress. And both of them saw religious people falling into that trap constantly. Similarity 5. Fifth similarity. Both taught that inner peace comes from letting go, not from getting what you want. Jesus said, "Don't worry about tomorrow. Look at the birds, they don't store up food, but God takes care of them." He taught his followers to pray for daily bread, not a lifetime supply. He said his peace isn't like the world's peace. The world says get what you want, and then you'll be happy. Jesus said real peace is internal and doesn't depend on circumstances. Buddha's whole teaching is basically about letting go. Attachment causes suffering. Craving causes suffering. The way to peace is to stop grasping. Not to get everything you want, but to stop needing things to be different than they are. Nirvana literally means blowing out the flame of craving. Both of them were pushing against the same human tendency. We think happiness comes from arranging our external circumstances perfectly. Get the right job, the right relationship, the right house, the right whatever, and then we'll finally be okay. Both Jesus and Buddha said that's backwards. You'll never arrange things perfectly. Life is uncertain. Things change. People die. You lose what you love. The solution isn't better circumstances. It's inner freedom. It's peace that doesn't depend on everything going your way. Jesus called it the kingdom of God within you. Buddha called it liberation. Different words, but the same basic idea. Stop trying to control everything and find a peace that can't be taken away. So, what are my thoughts? Here's what gets me about all of this. These two teachers lived completely different lives in completely different places 600 years apart. They never heard of each other. Their cultures didn't overlap. Their religious contexts were totally different. And yet they diagnosed the same problems and offered similar solutions. That's not a coincidence. That suggests they were both seeing something true about human nature, about what causes suffering and what leads to peace. The differences between Christianity and Buddhism are real. One is theistic, one mostly isn't. One emphasizes faith and grace. One emphasizes practice and effort. Those aren't small differences, but the similarities suggest something important. Maybe the deepest truths about how to live, how to find peace, how to treat people, maybe those truths are universal. Maybe they show up in different traditions because they're actually true, not just culturally specific. And maybe Christians and Buddhists have more to learn from each other than either group usually admits. Jesus and Buddha weren't saying identical things. Christianity and Buddhism aren't the same religion with different packaging. But they were both addressing the human condition, and their insights overlap in significant ways. Both taught that the problem is internal. Both warned about attachment to wealth. Both called for radical compassion. Both opposed hypocrisy and emphasized humility. Both said peace comes from letting go, not from getting everything you want. If you're Christian and you've never seriously looked at Buddhism, you might be surprised at how much common ground there is. And if you're Buddhist and you've dismissed Christianity without really studying it, the same thing applies. You don't have to agree with everything in both traditions. You don't have to merge them into some new age blend. But recognizing the similarities opens up space for real conversation. It shows that people from different traditions can be seeking the same truth, just approaching it from different angles. And in a world where religious conflict causes so much suffering, finding common ground matters. Not to erase the differences, but to build bridges, to learn from each other, to recognize that maybe we're not as far apart as we think. What do you think is the biggest similarity I missed? Drop it in the comments and subscribe for the next video on where they actually disagreed.